Good morning, walking in nature. Look at those little coconuts coming down. Gracias, Mother Nature. So, turns out James Aspey, one of the most beloved goats of the vegan animal rights community, seems to be in a little trouble. Some people are mad at him and I did a bit of research. I'm sure some of you, if you disagree with me saying that we should give James Aspey a break and that he's not like some sketchy pyramid scheme dude, I think he hasn't done anything wrong in these two cases I'm going to address. But if you know more about the situation and you think that I'm wrong and there's some deeper villainous shit that's going down, please let me know. I'll be very open to changing my mind, making another video, interacting with y'all in the comments. I never say this, but I just remembered it in my head, so I'll say it now. Subscribe to my channel. Click that button if you haven't already. And just much love. Thanks for the support. I post a lot on Patreon. The Plantreon podcast is now just on Patreon. So just thanks for all the love. We're planting trees, building a vegan yoga retreat center out here in the jungle of Costa Rica. You know it if you watch my videos and YouTube channel. We are for real. Sustainability is the number one thing that we're focused on. Growing our own food. So, James Aspey, according to my research and knowledge, told everyone to get into this crypto called EWT, and that he got some financial advice and thinks it's a great opportunity for people looking to have financial freedom to invest in this up-and-coming crypto while it's still small. I didn't watch his entire video, but I saw tons of people came out saying, hey, you're giving terrible financial advice. You're going to screw people's lives up. This is some sketchy thing. Look, it's not smart to invest 100% of your funds or savings into one thing. That's never a good idea. You got to diversify your portfolio in order to make sure that you don't lose everything if one thing goes wrong. So if you're looking to get into stock and crypto and online investments so that the money that you have saved is generating even more money, it is wise to diversify it in a variety of platforms so that if one goes down, not all of your eggs are in one basket, as they say. So I don't know if he was saying specifically that you should only invest in this one thing, but look, he gave some financial advice about a crypto. I just looked, and since he posted that video, that crypto's gone up 30 or 40%, which means that if you put in $1,000 into that crypto, EWT, when James told you to, like a week ago, you could now take out $1,400 into your bank account. You can make $400 of profit if you invested $1,000 just a week ago. So, hey, as of now, his financial advice is pretty damn good in saying, hey, I found out about this crypto that I think is going to go big. He's so far been proven right. Now, that's a gamble. He couldn't have known that. It was just advice. Now, I don't know if he was trying to manipulate people in some other way and say, you should only invest in this one. You got to do it. I know for sure. No one knows anything for sure when it comes to stocks and cryptos. It's gambling. But his advice was good so far. And if you listened to him and made investments, you're happy right now. Next. So, I mean, he specifically said in the video, for legal reasons, I have to say, this is not legit financial advice. So don't blame him. He told you about a crypto. It went up. He said, don't fully listen to me. But if you did, you would have made a lot of money. I don't see what's wrong with that. He's got a big platform. He's trying to get everyone to focus more on activism and animal rights. I mean, this dude is a goat. He's been on some of the biggest podcasts on planet Earth. He has some of the best profound lectures communicating how he feels about animal rights and environmental sustainability and he's just one of the best examples. He's fucking jacked. He used to be a eating disorder, binge eating food addict, which, you know, I have experience with different body dysmorphia and eating issues, and he talks about all that stuff vulnerably. He's covered in tats, he's fit as fuck, he's jacked, and he's super vegan and cares about the animals, and he is not afraid to tell it how it is in terms of the situation we're in, with billions of animals being bred into captivity and confined and murdered every single year on this planet. Whew. Let's wait for this car to go by. You can enjoy the views of nature. Whew. So let's talk about now the animal rights side of things. Yes, I'm just walking back and forth trying to keep the light on my face, filming a video for you guys on my hike. That is what I'm doing. Look at these beautiful flowers. So next is people have been hating on him for talking about or using the word Holocaust and connecting to what happened in the Jewish Holocaust, such a huge genocide based on racism, and how that is not too different from what's going on with cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys right now, considering that there are laws we have to protect dogs and cats in certain countries. You can't confine and breed them and then kill them for food. You would go to jail because the government says, hey, these animals, they have emotions, they feel pain, so you can't do that. It's fucked up. But we do it to all these other animals that have the exact same intellectual capacity and same type of nervous system to feel pain, but that's fine. You can abuse and kill and confine and artificially inseminate and murder and eat cows, pigs, and chickens, which are just as smart as dogs. And if you don't believe that, you're ignorant, because I'm sorry, I've lived on so many farms in many countries, and I've built personal relationships with bunnies that were being farmed, with chickens, with goats, with cows, with turkeys, and they can get to know their name. You get to know their personalities. Some like stuff more than others. They want to be safe. They want to hang out with their friends and family, and most of those animals even like cuddles. So they're the same thing as dogs and cats. I've lived with them. If you think I'm crazy, you clearly just don't have those experiences. I'm sorry. So the fact that we have laws to protect dogs and cats in the United States and many countries, but not cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, bunnies, etc., is called speciesism. It's just the same concept as racism or sexism. It's making certain privileges and rules for one group of people based on how they look, and not giving those privileges to other beings, even though they exhibit the same qualities of why they should deserve those rights. So, in that case, that is what happened in the Jewish Holocaust, right? White Christian German and Eastern Europeans were cool to keep living their life free, but Hitler and the Nazis said, no, if you're Jewish, even though you feel pain in the same way as Christians and you want to be with your family and everything, just because you're Jewish, we claim that that's bad, so we're gonna murder you and put you in concentration camps. Animals, cows, pigs, chickens, are put into concentration camps and killed, even though their dog and cat animal brothers and sisters are protected. So to make that comparison, the only I think is a legit comparison. And the only reason, I bet people kind of hated on him because he's not Jewish. Guess what? I'm 100% Jewish. Judaism, I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, and that's an ethnicity. It's just a fact, guys. My parents, here, let's wait for this little motorbike to go by. Not only is it just a religious minority culture that I grew up in, I could read Hebrew as a kid. I knew tons of friends and grandparents' friends that were literally like friends' grandparents and my grandparents' friends who were in the fucking Holocaust. I mean, my parents did 23andMe genetic testing. Both of my parents came out as 100% Ashkenazi Jew from Eastern Europe. And we know that because both my parents' grandparents immigrated to the US in the 1930s. They were poor Jews in Poland, And the Nazis started to gain power, and they were the lucky ones to get on a fucking boat in the 30s because they were being oppressed, and head to the United States to try to have a free, safe life. And then all their brothers and sisters, tons of my relatives who did not have the privilege to get on that boat and come to New York City, they got into concentration camps and were murdered and killed. So that is my culture. I'm allowed to talk about if it's fair to compare the animal Holocaust of what's going on with the Jewish Holocaust, and people are getting mad at James Aspey for doing so, including people like Garth Davis, who I really like and support, one of the best vegan doctors on social media. And I think it's a totally fair comparison. And it's not to belittle the Jewish Holocaust at all. The Jewish Holocaust was so fucking disgusting and terrible. And you can also say at the same time that when you get to build relationships with cows and pigs and chickens, and then you think about and see what they're going through in concentrated animal feeding operations and CAFOs and factory farms, it's fucking terrible. Like, all I can say, just thinking from my heart and how I genuinely feel, it makes me so sad when I think about the relationships I've built with those animals, and then to think about the standard of life, the low quality of life, and the abuse that they undergo living in factory farms and then are killed. And not to mention the terrible environmental impact of raising animals into confinement for food, the amount of waste, and how it's also just polluting rural human communities and impoverished communities. The whole thing is so fucked up. Why not compare it to the Jewish Holocaust? We're talking about living beings, either humans or cows or pigs, who can feel pain. They want to be left alone with their friends and family. Here's a great example. Do you think this cow that just looked at me when I came walking over, hi buddy, do you think they want to be locked up, covered in shit and infections, getting fed processed food, separated from their kids, and then killed at a couple years to get processed into a cheeseburger? I mean, look, this dude is just like Maggie, my dog. It's chilling. It enjoys the sun in the morning. So many easy comparisons to make. And the thought of a factory farm of Maggies, of my dog, being abused, neglected, no love or touch, and being covered in shit, that is really deeply fucked up and sad to me. So for me to not connect that to every other animal that's in a factory farm, I think is just ignorance. So I'm gonna say it's a fine comparison to make, and you should say, like, it doesn't diminish how terrible the Jewish human Holocaust was, but it's just honoring that what's going on with animals right now is really wrong and really sad, and something that we need to do a lot of soul searching in our society in order to think if we want to keep this type of activity up, or to stop it in its tracks and start to give the same protections that we give to domesticated dogs and cats, also to cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, rabbits, all the domesticated farm animals. And if you really haven't delved into this topic and don't understand, and you're like, well, what are we going to do with all the cows, pigs, and chickens if we don't eat them? Guys, cows aren't even native to North America. All of these farm animals that exist now, the billions of them for food, they're in farms because we force them to breed in order to create more. The minute the demand goes down and humans stop eating meat, the farmers will stop artificially inseminating their cows. The production will go down, and then naturally there simply won't be as many animals to abuse and murder if we force the industries to stop breeding them. So that's how you have to do it. Got to make videos like this, You got to show how great life can be on a plant-based diet. I've been vegan for 8 years, over 8 years. It's brought so much meaning into my life. I get to stay fit. I feel good about my food choices. It increases my mental health, my physical health, my blood work's good. And for all you guys out there who are interested in like women, you know how much a woman is attracted to a man who cares about animals and stuff like that? There's nothing bad with being vegan. There's so many options. The food's delicious. Your gut microbiome's happy. There's just no excuse anymore to continue the animal holocaust. It's what it is. It's a bunch of living beings that have emotions and intelligence and can feel pain being confined in areas and being abused so that they can be murdered. What other word do you want to use? Cancel culture is getting really crazy in terms of people policing words. What is it? It's a genocide, it's a Holocaust. What other term do you want to use for factory farms? So I guess this is a video saying the two things that James Aspey seems to be getting grilled on this week, that people should invest in cryptocurrency right now for financial freedom, and that animals being abused is a Holocaust. I think both of those things are absolutely true. And I don't know why James Aspey's getting so grilled by his own community with all that he's done to spread awareness about veganism and animal rights on mainstream platforms. So please tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I should cancel James Aspey and that he's disingenuous. But as of now, I think he's speaking the truth. Please let me know why I'm wrong. Peace.